Hello and welcome back to Kedrick Farms. We're here with another episode of the Westby Wisconsin Revised map, and we've made a minor change since last episode. So based on a lot of the comments and a little bit of research, I just didn't feel like using the ripper was really an appropriate tillage tool for this particular style of farming, and so we switched out for a disc. This disc is set up to do plowing, which is more to just represent that we're tilling under all of the crop residue and stuff, and then in the spring we'll still run a cultivator through it to prepare for planting. So I thought this was probably the best way to leverage the farm sim mechanics and kind of do what we need to do at the same time. I'm questioning whether this disc is maybe a little bit too big for our tractor, but it's the way that it was modded and it seems to be working pretty good, so we're going to run with it, partly because it does work really well, and it was the only John Deere implement I had in the plow category. I was also looking for a chisel plow. I think I've got a chisel plow somewhere, but this was the first one that I found, so we're going to run with this for the series. So I did get rid of the other attachment, and we're just going to stick with this disc here instead. So hopefully this works out a little bit better. And then you'll notice I've ditched GPS right now, and I'm running this around with the contour a little bit more manually. Not necessarily doing such a great job of staying out of the grass here, but yeah, we're going to try and do this just a little bit more realistically, and I really appreciate all of the comments and feedback from people in the description of the videos and on the Discord channel. So this has been a really fun learning experience for me, just to figure out how to farm a different style of land. And so we've got just a little bit of plowing left to do here, or tillage, I guess I would say. If I pull up the map here, we're on this last stretch of the corn, and then we've got this little bit bigger soybean section here, which I probably wouldn't normally do, but just because seasons is set up and all my fields require plowing right now, we're just going to do them all, and then that's going to hopefully change here as we get into the subsequent seasons. We'll only have to take care of the crop residue on like our cornfields, because typically we didn't really ever do much tillage on bean ground afterwards. So with that, we're gonna rip through these last couple of fields here in a quick time lapse, and then we're gonna jump into a new job since we have been doing this for a little while now.
I've been going through changes, rough and dark as night. Though life rearranges, I'll be alright. All because of you, I am strong again. Because of you, I've got hope again. Because of you, maybe love has found me. I'm starting a thing back. You could be one of the good ones. You could be one of the few. You could be one of the good ones. You got me hoping. You got me thinking it could be you. You see me walking on air without a single care. A big smile on my face, no one could erase. All because of you, I am strong again. Because of you, I can hold again. Because of you,
Alright, that's finally gonna wrap up our tillage. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing back up into the yard. And unfortunately, one of the mods I tossed in my mod folder is apparently causing some issues. I can't currently deactivate my HUD like I usually do when I'm doing time lapses, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. Let me actually hop out of the tractor once. It works out of the tractor. Oh, now it's working. What do you know? Oh well. It's always something around here. So, we got done with tillage. Super excited about that. Starting a new save with seasons is always a bit of a challenge. Most maps are like this, where you've got to do all the plowing. So, we've gotten through that now, and we can kind of move on to something more exciting. I was going to put this in the shed, but I'm going to need to shuffle some things around. Maybe what we'll do is put this in the other shed. We got a bunch of space over there, so we're just going to spin around here, spend all day driving around in the yard. And then I think what we need to do is start getting the planter set up and ready to go. That's really one of the next things we're going to need to do. Actually, I guess we're going to need to do some cultivating here. It is spring. Wow, I am either really short or that's a really tall door. Open sesame. Strikes me that perhaps this shed is just scaled up rather than recreated at a bigger size. So I'm gonna just back this disc up into the shed though, because I don't have anything else that I think needs to go in here. So I think if I can just get this squared up a bit here, not driving the neighbor's field too much, we'll be in a good spot. And then actually I think I'm gonna need to use this tractor to run the cultivator as well. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Normally I would have probably sprayed or limed or something ahead of this, but given that we don't have any money for that, we're gonna skip it this year and see how that treats us on hard difficulty. I think we're gonna have lots of regrets with not starting with just a little bit more money, but it is what it is. Why can I not open this door? Alright, you know what? This was not a problem last time I used this door. Something has definitely changed. There we go. I tell you, sometimes I just have the most problems and I don't understand why. Now, a few people commented this is probably a little bit big for the area, the types of fields that we're using and so on and so forth. Would probably use something a bit smaller in real life, but I haven't had a chance to find anything else yet, and I don't want to keep switching modes or mods out. I am trying to stick with the equipment that I've got, so we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna see if this thing even pulls it. The good news is it should make quick work of these fields at least, and that is partially the goal, right? We don't want to spend too much time, but just looking at it, I thought the disc that we just pulled was pretty big. This is a much bigger implement. So the good news is this is going to go pretty quick. So we're going to go ahead and just rip through a couple of these fields real quick as well, and jump back in afterwards.
Under the city lights, dear, you're so pale, but when the light falls, conversation feels so damn near while we're watching some dear will forever stay in our hearts. Old memories are fading while we're watching purple skies and flames, my sweetheart. Maybe I am in a dream. As simple as the breeze, I am lost without you. We're too far apart. I need you close. Purple skies and flames, my sweetheart. But maybe I am in a dream. Purple skies and flames, my sweetheart. Maybe I am in a dream.
Whew, so this has been just entirely too much back-to-back tillage, even for me. It's a lot to do. This is, farmers are constantly running through this, both fall and spring. I've heard a few different farmers I know talk about how they just get tired of doing nothing but tillage, it feels like. So definitely feeling a little bit of that. When I was farming, we didn't actually do any tillage. We did kind of a no-till type situation. I don't really know what it was called, but both the beans and corn were, planted in, it was row crop, and so they would, we would constantly be planting in the same ridges, and so all the machinery was set up to space in between the rows, and then you never drove over where the crop actually grew, and so you were always planting into kind of this mound. And so all of the fields had these nice healthy, 3-4 inch tall mounds in between the rows that you always tried to keep from getting knocked down. And so we would just always we had what we would call a cultivator, a field cultivator, but not like this. Like, this is what you hear of nowadays as a cultivator, but we would use it in the late spring, early summer after the crops came up to knock down the weeds in between the rows, and it would also kind of push some of that dirt back up on the mound underneath the plants that had come up, and put a little bit of fertilizer in it. So you see side dressers and stuff out now, but those are mostly just knifing it in pretty close to the row, where we were actually digging up the soil a little bit in between the rows. I really wish I could remember what it was called. This is 20 plus years ago now too, so it was something that not a lot of farmers were doing in the area when we did it. And so, I guess the point I'm trying to make is I never actually did much tillage. We had a small ripper that we would use on the headlands where we turned around a lot. But for the fields themselves, we never touched them with a tillage at all. We would use a cornstalk cutter. I forget what it's called. Stock chopper. And I would drive a 4240 for most of the fall after we finished harvest, and just run around on the fields and chop up all the stalks, the corn stalks, because we didn't have anything on the corn header at the time. So that's how we kind of dealt with a lot of the crop residue. And really, it would kind of fall down in between the rows after you cut it, and then the rows would be pretty dry to plant seed back into, and when we'd run the cultivator and stuff through it, would throw some of that residue around a little bit, and that's how we kind of manage that. So kind of a different style of farming than what I've seen anywhere else or since. I did get to do a little bit of tillage for a few other farmers. I would we'd wrap up for the year and I'd go work for some of the other neighbors and do some things, but just didn't do a lot of it. So this is not something that I had a lot of experience with, but you see a lot of farmers, especially in Minnesota and stuff, where tillage is still pretty important in the northern parts of the state and the type of soil that they have. So that's where I'm not super familiar with this area in Wisconsin, but I imagine that they've got similar soil where it's just really sticky soil, and so a lot of times you've got to mix that crop residue in. But with that said, I'm not sure. I've got 4 more strips left in me at the moment. And so rather than sit here and time lapse all of this out in this episode, we might just wrap up the rest of this tillage off camera. I think we've done a fair amount of it on camera today, so that you can kind of get a feel for how this machine is working. Outside of not having a dirt texture on the metal parts, it would seem, although the tires are getting dirty at least. This cultivator, this digger, field cultivator, chisel plow, whatever you want to call it, is working really well. I like this. It might be a smidge big for this tractor, but I like that it's getting the job done, and it's getting the job done in a fairly quick way for me. So I definitely approve. And it has wings that move with the ground, which is greatly appreciated. A lot of modders don't take the time to make sure that the little details like that are working, and this mod is doing that. So kudos to wherever I got this mod. I'm actually not sure where I picked this particular implement up at, but it is working great. And so with that, I think I'm going to wrap up this field. We've got just a little bit left here, and then that's probably going to be the right spot to wrap things up for today. If you are interested in continuing to participate with the rest of my community, we've got a pretty lively Discord server going on these days. We've got, a few hundred members on the Discord server already, and so it's proving to be quite a good place to get some help with different mods and issues and maps, and just ask questions and hang out and bug my moderators. I've got a couple of moderators now helping me out, so that's been a lot of fun. So a huge shout out to Dairy Deer and Julian for helping me out here and keeping things moving on the Discord channel when I'm away. As always, if you're enjoying the series, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave a like on the video. It really helps the channel out. If you're interested in joining the Discord, it's a great place to get some help and support from the community, hang out and just kind of goof off. We've got a pretty lively group on there and a few hundred members at this point. So that's been a lot of fun. And as always, have a wonderful day. That's all for today. Kedrick, out.